morning, good morning, good morning. Bonjour, 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 bonjour. I want to talk to you upcoming spiritualists, you young spiritualists. So there's people tuning in to spirituality. Let me tell you something. Don't let these old spiritualists try to turn you into them. You say their time is up. You know, some of these spiritualists out here, you try to bring new ideas into the equation. You know what? Well, how about doing it this way? Or, how about incorporating this? Because listen, let me tell you something. Some of these old spiritualists out here, their ways are so rigid. They're not subject to change. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Some of you guys are part of a house. You're part of a community, and you want to introduce something new, and the older head's like, no. We got to keep it this way. Listen. As time goes on, everything changes and evolves. Things evolve. So if you young out here, you fly. Some spiritualists may say, oh, you too flamboyant. Spiritualists are not supposed to be that way. Oh, you wearing too much. No. That's the old way. Because people didn't have a means. So now we live in a technological age. So now you can do things different. Let me just say this. Sometimes don't take everything that your spiritualist says as good advice. Sometimes it can be advice to hinder your growth. Sometimes they don't like the things that you're doing. So therefore, what they do is say things indirectly to you because their heart is filled up with malice and hatred for your success. They see that you can go somewhere with what you're doing, and they don't want to see the growth. They don't want to see the progress. Even me, I get hate. I get hate from other spiritualists whatsoever because I've evolved what I've been doing. So instead of wearing a straw hat, sitting on a straw chair, today I'm I would like to think I'm nice and handsome. I smell good. YSL cologne. My life is great. I live in a nice area, nice environment. And this is what a lot of spiritualists do not get. With time, you got to evolve. You got to keep yourself up. How can you practice your spirituality in nothing but chaos? I understand what you say, mindfulness, being impervious to the world around you, and not allowing it to affect you. But as time goes on, if you put something in a bad environment, eventually it's going to affect the object that you put in that environment. So don't listen to these old heads telling you, these old methods and old ways. You got to do what works for you. You got to do what works for you. Don't let these people put you in a box. Some of these people are old. Listen, I went to see a spiritualist that's around my age. I saw a spiritualist with a walking cane. How are you going to be my age? How are you going to be my age and you with a walking cane? That says that some of these people are so stupid. Just because they're spiritualists doesn't mean that they're wise. Some of these people, they've broke their bodies down through the years. Walking with bad shoes every single day, destroying their knees, and then they wonder why they're in their 38s, 40s, and they're walking like this with a walking cane. This is a person that's supposed to be advising you? No, they can't advise you because they couldn't even advise their own life. Listen to me. You have to find what works for you, and if it works for you, don't let anybody else tell you that you can't do it. Because everybody's going to have their own lane. Everybody's going to have their own path. And everybody's going to have their own way of doing things. That's why LeonardElmera is different from every other voodooism that has stepped out before me. Everybody was following the routine. Everybody was dancing the same tune. Aye, bobo, dressing up in white. And you ain't never seen one day of me dressed in all white. I stood out by myself. I stood out as LeonardElmera, not as Wuga so-and-so, not as, so-and-so. Listen, LeonardElmera, he stood out by himself. While everybody was dancing the tune of Wuga, he stood out as Boko. I'm not religious at all. I don't belong to any religious community. You got to be yourself. You got to do what works for you. And don't let anyone discourage you from being yourself. That said, I'm out. Have a wonderful day, everyone.